And now it's time to get into Mike's top 5 offensive and defensive grades of the season so far. And folks, I put a number by these things, so I thought, because I think that would help you guys out, see where my mind is at. Now, when I give you guys these grades, reminder, preseason expectations did matter. So if you see the Buffalo Bandits have a really lower grade compared to what another team like the Dogs might be doing, okay, you understand. Dogs weren't supposed to be good, Bandits were, but they're not as good as we thought they were. Same thing with the Albany Firewolves. If the Albany Firewolves have a great grade, you're like, well, that's kind of weird. But it's like, oh, the expectations do matter considering the roster and things around them. So let's start with offense, because offense wins games and defense wins. You get it. Number 5 for me on the offensive side of the ball is the New York Riptide. New York Riptide, folks, have an 88 offensive rating. And I use the term rating because it's not like official math, but you understand it. In 9 games this year, they have a 102 goals scored. Now, granted, their season started kind of slow. I've compared their long runs of not being great on offense to diarrhea. It's just something I said, and I try not to reiterate that, but it's something I tweeted out one day. Ever since the Stephen Keogh signing happened, or trade happened, it was a trade. I get that confused. Anyways, ever since that happened, their offenses looked way better. Jeff Teat finally looks good again, and the team is really performing very well. But they obviously, inconsistency has been a problem for the Riptide in years past, and it has been this year. Still top 5 at 88 is not bad. Number 4 for me on my offensive grades, the Albany Firewolves are at a 90. This team would have been much higher if the last 2 games had not happened. They have scored 92 goals in just 8 games played. Most teams have played 9 games. Some teams have played 10, and one team has played 7, I believe. But 92 goals is nothing to scoff at, considering most of these guys are rookies. At least the majority of the top guys. You got Ethan Walker, who's a young player, not a rookie, but he's young. You have Alex Simmons, who could be Rookie of the Year, even though the last 2 weeks he's been kind of shut down. You've got Ty Kurtz. I mean, this team is loaded with young talent. Now, I do wish they would have not gotten rid of Connor Kelly. I do wish they would still have other guys on the roster, but this offense is overperforming what we thought they could be. We thought, I, like many others, did think that Doug Jameson would hold this team down. Doug Jameson has been really good, don't get me wrong, but their offense has definitely carried them in some parts of the game as well. In third place, also at a 90, are the Halifax Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds have 105 goals in just 8 games. That is the most on my top 5 list, in case you're wondering. Halifax has been supported by guys like Ryan Benesh, Clark Peterson. They have so many good players on offense. There's like, holy cow. They're really good. Like I said, Clark Peterson, 19 goals. Ryan Benesh, 21 goals. Austin Shanks, 8 goals, but 26 assists. Cody Jamison, Randy Stotts, Dawson Feed. Oh, and this guy named Aaron Woods, who in his first 2 games of his career is amazing. So this team looks pretty consistent on offense thus far. That's why they have a 90. I believe when I calculated my grades, they were like a little bit higher. Number 2, way up there at a 94, or Toronto Rock. Folks, I'll be honest. Toronto Rock have been very consistent. I did take into account the fact that Tom Schreiber missed the first 5 or 6 games, and that's why they probably only have 94 goals in 8 games. But I still think Mark Matthews held it down. Corey Small has been really good, like really, really good. You wish they had sometimes a little bit more. Like Tom Schreiber was the rocker 1 and 2 since he's been back, but that's okay. We'll let them adjust. There were times where they went a little bit cold, but it was very few and far between. The Rock have been really good, like I said, especially without their star player, Tom Schreiber. And number 1 offense in the NLL for me, at a 96 with 104 goals in 8 games, are the Rochester Nighthawks. This team has lit up scoreboards. And the thing that stood out to me watching these games, not only do you have Connor Fields, who's like a guaranteed hat trick plus a couple points. Ryan Smith is now a great compliment. You've got rookie Thomas McConaughey, who looks to be as advertised. This team is loaded, and they shoot at will. I do wish this team had been better against the Georgia Swarm late. But I said it on Twitter with the Travis Kelce meme. I said, if the Rochester Nighthawks had a pulse on defense, they might be undefeated. This team has been really good offensively. They went into Buffalo, scored like 13. At home against Buffalo, they scored 14, and that pretty much justified for me the top spot offensively. So again, Nighthawks first, 96, the Rockets second, third place Thunderbirds, fourth place Firewolves, and fifth place Riptide. Now it's time for my top 5 defenses because they do win championships. In fifth place, the Riptide have made the list again at an 85. Ron John has got 12 caused turnovers. He leads the team. Also has 45 loosies. Rookie, I'll say it again, rookie Callum Jones has 10 caused turnovers, 10 blocked shots, those little soakers with, oh my God, 49 loose balls. This team has got a legend in the making in what they call the game of Jones. And of course, Matt Marinier has 7 caused turnovers, 12 I can't even forget that 12 block shots and 26 loose balls. And by the way, this category of defense is not about goaltending. So when you say, well, what about this team? I took goaltending out of the equation. So be very careful with the line I'm about to walk here. 1 point above them and 1 spot above them are the Buffalo Bandits at 86. Buffalo, of course, started the year injured on their back end. Matt Vince has been inconsistent, so I took those things into consideration here. Steve Priolo with 12 caused turnovers, 11 block shots. The dude does not die. He does not get old. Ian McKay, 79 loose balls, along with his 10 and 6 stat line. Cam Wires, the rookie, has 8 caused turnovers for third best on the team. And of course, Mr. Ankles himself, Matt Spankles, or should I say Matt Spanger, 7, 8, and of course 30 loose balls. This team has been very good, and sometimes they've been better than Matt Vince has been. But we expect them from a 40-year-old goalie. In third place for me, the Halifax Thunderbirds. Folks, I'll be real with you. Halifax has got a great story brewing. He had MVP talks at the beginning of the season, but make no mistake, Jake Withers is supposed to be a face-off guy, and he's got 17 caused turnovers, 7 block shots, and 133 loose balls. The reason I throw the loose ball stats in there so many times is because those matter a ton. You think I'm a face-offs matter guy? I'm a big loose balls matter guy, and I think loose balls probably more commonly accepted, more universally accepted in the National Lacrosse League. But make no mistake, folks, Jake Withers still might be on an MVP level if you look at his numbers. Graham Hossack, 13, 6, and 52, although I wish he'd change his shoes. And Ryan Terafenko has 12 caused turnovers and 69 loose balls. Now, this is where it's going to get hairy. How on earth, again, Brett Dobson is not in the, he more benefits the equation than he does take away from the equation. They have played in 10 games. And so take that in mind when you hear about how many goals they have against. Like I said, Brett Dobson, 76.8 save percentage. It's not going to cut it. I wish he would have been better in his sophomore year. That might just be a sophomore slump. We don't know. And remember, 90 is not perfect. So, yeah, they're second in the league, but this takes into account that Brett Dobson has not been great. This takes into account that their offense has struggled at times. All of that. And then you listen to these stats. How about TJ Camizio with 14 caused turnovers and 57 loosies? Liam Burns with 13 and 5. Mike Manley, who never gets old at 12 calls turnovers. Jordan McIntosh with 61 loose balls. Adam Wiedemann has 15 blocked shots. This team is loading up the box score individually and defensively. I think they play good team defense. I think they've actually given Brett Dobson a good chance to succeed. And that's not even based on lax metrics and advanced stats. That's based on what I've been watching with the eye test. This is a big eye test moment for me. And finally, the number one team defensively is going to be the Toronto Rock, just a tick above the Swarm at 91. Again, Nick Rose does not contribute to this. Well, he contributes in a negative way here because Nick Rose, of course, has been great. But this, like I said, that's a different conversation. And of course, Noah Trell Harris, no problem. Brad Kriya's 19 cost turnovers. This team has got Mitch DeSnoo with 81 loose balls. Billy Hofstrauser, Challen Rogers. The team is built to succeed defensively. Again, they do not have Latrell Harris right now. That's a big deal. But I will tell you this. Latrell Harris will come on tomorrow's show. I thought that would be a good time to plug that bit of information. So there's your top 5 offensive defenses. Again, the defenses are Rockin' First, Swarm, Thunderbirds, Bandits, Riptide. And there's Mike's top 5 offenses and defenses with stats to back me up on that. But this year has been so good in the National Lacrosse League, you cannot wait to see how the second half of the year unfolds.